Hi there, and welcome to Celeb Hut. About Diddy's wrongdoings and everything except Gene just concocted some even additional stunning claims about how Diddy purportedly attempted to unal 50 Cent. Now we realize that Diddy and 50 Cent aren't precisely best buds, and they don't agree yet. Diddy attempting to take out 50 is crazy. And you can have no doubt in the world or 50 Cent that he didn't let this slide since he went crazy on Diddy perusing him for foulness and therein to destroy his life. You all better sit down for this show cause it's going to explode once more presently. I'm not going to exhaust you with all the origin story to you about why 50 Cent is one of Diddy's most prominent operations. However, I will say that they have been beefing since the last part of the 90s, since 50 Cent needed to be endorsed to Awful Kid Records, and Diddy would have rather not marked him. Terrible Kid Records was wrecked after Famous B died, and he was attempting to avoid all the group rap picture, and 50 Cent was enthusiastic about his pack picture at that point. So obviously, he didn't sign him in any case. They have kept on tossing conceal at one another throughout the years, with 50 Cent in any event, blaming Diddy for attempting to connect with him and calling Diddy fiery when he do it, he makes statements he doesn't actually have the foggiest idea what he's saying resembles fruity. He likewise guaranteed that Diddy attempted to take him shopping, yet it left him feeling weirded out. He directly called Diddy out for being obscure. Hello. He expressed something to me one time quite a while in the past at Chris Light's wedding. He let me know he'd take me shopping. I saw him say, "What the what? What did you simply say? Let me move, man. Before I do something, you're gonna make me mess up the wedding." Goodness, that is a decent motion. It allowed me to get out, no matter what a person says. Well, the show has been happening for quite a long time, and with Diddy's new cases coming up at regular intervals, you all can accept that 50C is partaking in each and every piece of the show. Yet not just that, he's like wise delivering a narrative on Diddy's cases. The narrative has been purchased by Netflix, so you all realize that it is truly occurring for genuine reasons, like coming soon. Now, a ton of tea has been spilling from the narrative, and it's been some truly wild stuff. You all have heard about Diddy purportedly doing some truly obscure stuff, like unresiding Kim Watchman. Kim's best friend, Erica Kennedy, and several others are supposedly attempting to torch Kymar Lee Simmons' home to drive all her mouths shut. However, one thing about Mr. 50 Cent is that you can wager that he's continuously going to stun us with more tea, and he didn't frustrate his new disclosures. Guarantee that Diddy and JD supposedly SAA the gathering crosswise, and assuming you all aren't up to speed with the mismatch, and they're shocking, let me fill you in. Chris Kelly and Chris Smith were the powerful couple who burst to fame in the mid-90s, becoming hotshots at only 12 and 13, like numerous kid wonders in Hollywood. They confronted a few serious difficulties. Jermaine Dupri was their alleged tutor, who guaranteed to safeguard and guide them in Hollywood anyway, as per the 50 Pennies narrative. The mentorship went far past music. In cases that Jermaine Dupri and Diddy purportedly prepped them in agitating ways, the young men dropped 3 uber-hit collections with Jermaine Dupri, yet word on the roads is that they were purportedly exposed to rehash Say with fingers highlighting Jermaine and his best bud Diddy. 50C even guaranteed that this supposed trial drove Chris Kelly into a fight with to adapt to his aggravation. Tragically, this battle went on until 2013 when he was tracked down Vias at his home in Atlanta. Regardless of being raced to the medical clinic, he unfortunately spent away 3 days after the fact. It was a deplorable second for his family, who had to openly recognize his broad history of chronic drug use. Interestingly, Jermaine Dupri put out an announcement about how shattered he was, and he shared with the world that Chris was a frantic daddy, yet to me, he was a child. I never had as much as you might think. I showed him, and he showed me. God has favored me to be within the sight of such countless normally gifted individuals, and Chris was one when I considered it. I invested more energy with Chris and Chris than, at that point, darn close to anyone in my entire life, so you can envision how awful this damage is. Yet, as individuals began to sort out, he didn't actually know Chris that well, since he didn't have a clue about a few essential things about him like age. And afterward, one of the individuals passes not just later, however, yet years after the fact. Definitely he passes at a quite early on. Was it 30-something? Better believe it, I suspect. Did you see that approaching at all? Were you all still in contact? No, I didn't. I didn't see that approaching. We had quite recently did the 20th commemoration, so it resembled well, Chris and Jermaine had developed far off over the course of the years, chiefly on the grounds that Chris was supposedly effectively staying away from Jermaine, and truly, who can fault him, notwithstanding this Jermaine attempted to behave like they were still closest friends or something to that effect. However, fans began to see an adjustment of Chris Kelly's disposition. He appeared to be depressed and removed in the wake of engaging with Jermaine and Diddy. At first, we thought it was simply pure tension of the business and didn't respect it, now that 50 Cent just released some RT. It's sad to envision what Chris was going through in the background. Jermaine's supposed SA wasn't the main issue. Possibly, he evidently permitted others in the business to do a similar cat. Williams was quick to talk about this when he alluded to Diddy and Jermaine to pry as PDF documents. "What's going on, Puff? I'd have returned to you if JD had had enough to believe it. Jermaine, if you were to ask me, child, you made PRI little as a kid." The one thing about Felice is that he gets straight to the point and expresses it as it is, which makes the entire situation much more vile looking at this logically. However, it deteriorates in light of the fact that, as per the sources, Diddy was not by any means the only one that Jermaine was supposedly pimping the kid out to, in light of the fact that he purportedly pimped him out to Jada Smith in 1993. You think Jada Pinker was entrapping, she was ensnaring with Chris Kelly from Mother Criss Cross. In light of the fact that Bungle was in the room, and he resembled Jada Ping as at the entryway. Yet don't leave, take this weed, chill, we like, damn, mother provided us with an ounce of weed, going to kick it here. Then he returned. He said, definitely, that was Jada pinking. I'm similar to damn Jada pinking quite early in life. However, this isn't the main thing that has returned to cause major problems for Diddy in the butt, in light of the fact that, do you all recall the 1999 club shooting including Diddy, Yajalo, and Sparkle? Presently, Sparkle accepted any penalty for this and did several years prior being extradited to Vice. However, presently, the plummet just got one of the casualties at the club to affirm that Diddy was purportedly the person who shot her in the face. The lady Natana Rubin guaranteed that during the preliminary, she affirmed, saying, "I saw Mr. Combs taking out a dark weapon with his right hand. I felt like a blazing hot demo hammer had smacked me in the face." She said, "I in a real sense watched them take out the firearms. I had a reasonable perspective. I mean, for the well-being of God, I had chance in my nose. I was confronting them straightforwardly. I watched everything happen, and host portrayed it energetically. To all gatherings included, I have 9 slug sections staying in front of me." She likewise implied that there was some concealment happening, saying, "I had no real excuse to accept that somebody might have a hard time believing me. However, as things unfurled, it was an extremely rare IF time frame where I understood that, as a matter of fact, was happening." Natanya additionally talked about the occasion, uncovering that she actually has some shot parts in her body and in front of her, and experiences horrendous cerebrum problem as well as seizure issue as a consequence of how Diddy supposedly treated her. Yet throughout the previous 24 years, I've had lead sections right in front of me, very much like Julius Jones, the other man of his word, who had chance he actually has and in his bait. Like individuals need to have some kind of regard and sympathy, of nothing else, on the off chance that nothing else, we didn't request this. We never really merited this. Like I said, I was an honest observer. How did I merit this thus? Yes, the fallout has been terrible in light of the fact that beyond all of the physical things, I would have seizures. At times I could have 20 seizures the very beginning day. My youngster, my child, he's a developed man now. However, when he was a teen, he got back home from school, all chipper, feeling great, found me on the bed, trapped in a seizure, twisting, and my girl, who was a newborn child, on the bed, attempting to get the jug in her mouth, simply laying there without any consideration that I had been in a seizure. I don't have the foggiest idea how long that seizure took, but I was seizing horribly. This has been concealed for a really long time. You folks and these individuals are at last emerging to talk in light of 50 Cent. You all see why it is not hard. Diddy would need to unlive him, since he is consistently attempting to uncover him. As indicated by Jean Bargain, Diddy has been attempting to unlive 50 for quite a while, and it sort of makes me keep thinking about whether 50 has had soil on Diddy for similarly lengthy a time. I mean, JD, why wouldn't attempt to unlive 50 for no great explanation? So it sort of seems as though 50 has a boatload of proof against Diddy. Subscribe Celeb Hut for more videos.